The girl approached the hotel reception. The receptionist greeted her and offered to help. She showed the wallet she had found and explained that she needed to check on its owner. She showed her police license and indicated that she would return the wallet herself. The girl's name was Kang Hee. The receptionist agreed and let her in. The lift doors opened in front of the police officer and she got on. She was contacted by her partner through an earpiece. He was worried that she wouldn't get in. Kang Hee walked down the corridor, pleased with her success. She explained to her partner that she had used the stolen wallet to get in. She wants to check if it's listed as missing and then return it to its owner. She looks for the VIP room where the crook is hiding with the stolen money. There are only 3 doors in the corridor. The criminal is behind one of them. First, the girl decides to check the photo inside the wallet to see who the owner is. Behind her back, she heard a voice saying that stalking was a crime. The girl jumped and turned around. The man added that stealing was an even more serious crime. Right behind her was the owner of the purse. Kang Hee explained that it was just a misunderstanding because she hadn't stolen it, but had come to return it. The man didn't seem to believe her. The girl asked if he was the owner of the wallet and held it out. The man held out his hand. Kang Hee noticed a ring on his hand, which plunged her into memories from the distant past. The stranger looked very much like her ex-boyfriend. The girl remembered the declaration of love he had hesitated to make for so long. The guy was ready to take no for an answer, and at that moment, everything depended on her. Kang Hee remembers a ring with her initials on the inside. The girl remembers their embrace in the park under a streetlight when he said that his heart only beats next to her. Kang Hee didn't realize that she was clutching the purse owner's hand. She was embarrassed and let go. The man looked very much like his ex. Her partner relayed a message through her earpiece that someone had entered the VIP lift. She reminded him that the group was due to leave in 5 minutes. The partner is worried that it might not be the perpetrator. The police are working without the help of the hotel today. If it turns out they're wrong, Kang Hee will take responsibility. She will play for time and asks for no delay. The girl looks around and sees that the man with the wallet is still standing behind her. She introduces herself and explains that she is a police officer. Showing her ID, Kang Hee asks her to play along as if they were together and stay with her for a few minutes. The man doesn't know exactly what role he is supposed to play. Kang Hee found him very sexy from the start. The man offered to be her boyfriend. He was guided by his secret motives. The girl offered a hug to avoid awkward silences. She wrapped her arms tightly around his waist and told him that they should try harder not to look silly. Kang Hee has been with the crime suppression department for 5 years. The VIP lift went to the floor. She has to stay cool and calm because she is a fearless and brave police officer. She was appointed head of the department last year. The man gently took her hand and kissed it. This is a polite kiss. Kang Hee finds it hard to believe that this is a coincidence. The gesture is so similar to that of her ex-boyfriend. It's time for the operation to begin, and the lift doors swing open. The criminal took the first steps down the corridor to meet her. The guy said it was always a good idea to start with a kiss on the hand. With that, he clouded her judgment. It's been 4 months since he left for Korea. In that time, 2 unpleasant things have happened. The first is having to go on blind dates every week. The second unpleasant thing, besides being a designer, is his popularity. With just one ad, the guy became a public figure, like some kind of celebrity. He's followed everywhere by the paparazzi, so he needs a bodyguard. He is an industrial designer for Maybach Opera and has also appeared as a model in their adverts. Now he's relaxing in the hotel spa, swimming in the pool. The man has a great body. He recalls that when he first saw the policewoman from behind, he thought she was a stalker who had recognized him as a model and was following him. He then told her that stalking was a crime and that stealing was a more serious offense. When she explained that it was all a misunderstanding and that she hadn't stolen the wallet but had come to return it to its owner, he just looked at her soft features and the mole that caught his attention. Though many years have passed, nothing has changed. She is the same as in his memories. His first love. He noticed the tremble in her hands as he picked up his wallet. This girl doesn't know how to be greedy. The man remembers asking her to let go of his hand. The girl apologized and introduced herself as a policeman. She asked to play along and be together for a few minutes. The guy offered to play the role of her boyfriend and they hugged. This may not have worked, and then the girl asked to play the couple better, so the man called a friend from the room to watch. The perpetrator went to the floor and whistled a tune. As he passed by, the man decided to kiss Kang Hee's hand. The girl asked him to wait a little longer, as reinforcements would soon arrive. The plan worked, and the criminal even called a friend from the room to see the embracing couple. The doors of the VIP lift swung open. Several men stepped out, reinforcements. They rushed towards the criminals to arrest them. Kang Hee deliberately slid across the floor to knock them down. The men were quickly handcuffed and warned that they had the right to remain silent, the right to a lawyer, and that anything they said could be used against them in court. Kang Hee came over to thank them for their cooperation as they had managed to arrest the suspects. The man was happy to have helped the police, even though his image had been tarnished. He pointed at his date, who was very angry. She defiantly turned around and walked away. Kang Hee was outraged. This wasn't a restaurant or a cafe. This was a hotel. This girl couldn't just be his partner. The man seems to have guessed what the policewoman was thinking. Kang Hee feels responsible for their argument. The guy thinks that the policeman shouldn't be responsible for everything that happens. The girl offers to give him her ID card as proof. He can keep it as long as he needs it. The man thinks it's unnecessary. Kang Hee's subordinate, Choi Hyun-oh, comes over to see if the boss is okay. She explains that the man helped her catch the criminals. She gives him her ID card. Kang Hee explains that she will get him out of the water with her ID because stalking is one of her main skills. The girl patted him on the shoulder and left with her colleague, but the guy called out to her and asked if she was married. Kang Hee replied that he should contact her to find out the answer to his question. Choi Hyun-oh recognized the man. It's Yoo Ha-jun. He's a world-famous industrial designer and advertising model, which is why he appears so often on TV. Kang Hee's partner Kang Hee got goosebumps when she saw such a famous person in person. Yoo Ha-jun couldn't go unnoticed at the cafe. All the customers recognized him as the man who starred in the Maybach opera commercial. He ordered a cappuccino and waited for Kang Hee. Today, the girl came to the meeting wearing a uniform that matched her face and heels. She had a meeting before lunch that required a dress code. Yoo Ha-jun returned her ID card and asked her to answer a question about marriage. The girl is not married. The man asked if she was interested in a relationship with him because Kang Hee used her ID as an excuse to meet him. He knows that the reason he got the ID and the reason he came here to change his schedule are probably the same. Even though Kang Hee insists that she's not interested in a relationship, Yoo Ha-jun really likes her. The phone rings. The man said he'd be back soon. It was his grandfather calling him. Since he was given a new life, he has to do everything for his family out of gratitude. The grandfather asks him not to interfere with the future date. Yoo Ha-jun remains silent, as the new life doesn't belong to him at all. Yoo Ha-jun asks his grandfather about the rule that he can marry whomever he wants. Yoo Ha-jun apologizes for keeping the girl waiting. She wondered how she could take responsibility for what happened at the hotel, where Kang Hee had managed to ruin his reputation in front of his date. The girl picked up a glass to take a sip of water. At that moment, Yoo Ha-jun asked her to marry him. She choked up from the surprise. The guy knew that he would surprise her with such a proposal. Yoo Ha-jun became the creative director of Daimler Company at the age of 27. He is an oriental designer with impeccable looks who shocked the whole of Europe. Kang Hee doesn't know why he proposed to her. First of all, she wants to see his ring. It's not that the guy might be with another woman. She's only interested in that piece of jewelry. Not even the reason why Yoo Ha-jun proposed to her. She assumed that the guy just fell in love with her, but this version is far from the truth. Kang Hee honestly admitted that she left her ID card with him because he looked a lot like her old acquaintance. She doesn't believe in such coincidences and demands an explanation as to where Yoo Ha-jun got the ring from. He twirls it on his finger and offers to let her see him to find out the answer. It turns out that her picture isn't as good as his. The girl jumped up, looked him straight in the eye, and told him that she didn't want to see him anymore. Having said that, Kang Hee walked away, tapping her heels. A company car pulled up to the building. It was raining heavily outside the windows. Kang Hee and Choi Hyun-oh were sitting in the car. The man promised that he would be back soon and that the girl could rest for a while. He opened his umbrella and stepped outside. The rain didn't stop. The drops pounded on the windscreen of the car. The main character was in a bad mood. She took out the pendant she had hidden under her t-shirt. It consisted of a chain and a ring just like her ex-boyfriend's. His name was Shin Yoo Jin. The girl hugged the pendant tightly with both hands. Kang Hee misses him. She remembered how they had traveled together on a bus in the same rainy weather. It was night outside the window. Eugene thought the driver was falling asleep at the wheel, so he decided to check. The bus shook violently. The driver slammed on the brakes. The tires squeaked on the tarmac. Kang Hee shouted at him and he turned around. The girl thought about how hard it was for him to hide his feelings and watch her from the sidelines. Anyway, she would take care of him now. The loud honking of a lorry could be heard outside the window, followed by the loud sound of a crash. There had been a car accident. Before that, Kang Hee only had time to call out her lover's name. Now she heard similar sounds from the window of a police car. This frightened her. She covered her eyes with her hands and bowed her head. At that moment, her partner entered the car. He was surprised to see that it was pouring outside. Kang Hee said she felt tired. She looks like a corpse because she hasn't been home for a few days. Hyun-oh suggests getting an arrest warrant tomorrow as he is worried about his boss' condition. Kang Hee insists that they need it today because her intuition tells her so. The guy mumbles to himself, parodying the girl, that it's her animal intuition. For that he gets a slap on the wrist. Hyun-oh reminds him that cruel women are unpopular and asks him not to hit her. The girl disagrees, saying that cruel women are unpopular and that there are many men who like her. Hyun-oh thinks that such men are abnormal and immediately covers her head to protect her from being hit. The girl opens her umbrella and gets out of the car. She goes to the building to get a search warrant. Her partner asks her not to go. The girl assures him that everything will be fine and asks him not to worry. There is a possibility that she could be transferred to the province. Judge Kim is adamant. Kang Hee froze at the door and swallowed the lump in her throat. A voice behind her suggested that she had something to do here. She looked around and saw Yoo Jin. He thought the girl had to come here for dinner. Kang Hee replied that it was a business call. It is quite late. She doesn't have time like this when she's not working. The man offered his help and smiled enigmatically. He could get the judge's order from this room. Kang Hee can hardly believe it. In return for the favor, the girl will have to grant his wish. She won't agree if Yoo Jin mentions anything about the wedding. The guy wants. He needs a meal. The girl was surprised. Yoo Jin wasn't going to propose again today. It's not his hobby to force people to do things they don't like. That would only be possible if she came to him on her own. The doors of the building swung open. Kang Hee and Judge Kim saw each other. The girl was a little confused because she hadn't had time to prepare for the meeting. The man wasn't happy to see her. Yoo Jin greeted Mr. Judge and the man beamed with happiness. The man apologized for asking for a favor. He should have just come to the meeting. He said that the detective was in a hurry to get an arrest warrant, so he asked Judge Kim to provide one. The gentleman scratched his cheek and replied that he didn't see any problem with that, but he wondered why someone like Yoo Jin would ask him to do it. The man replied that he was a fan of Detective Ju. He revealed that he had recently asked her to marry him. Kang Hee was visibly nervous. Judge Kim was surprised because he had prepared everything to introduce his daughter to Jun. Hyun-oh was proud of her boss for once again being able to handle a situation that had become a real headache. They had suspicions, but no proof. The partner asked how it was solved, but there was no answer. Kang Hee thought aloud about the case. The suspect suddenly began to show affection for his wife. He became very nice to her parents, whom he had rarely contacted before. That's suspicious. He's also been in contact with his half-brother for months. The crime scene is a house, completely enclosed. It's obvious who the killer is. Woo Hyun-oh's statement. They have the half-brother's confession, so now they can catch the real culprit. With an arrest warrant, they have nothing to worry about. Kang Hee sighed. Her partner wondered what she was so worried about. The girl really wanted to catch the criminal. Hyun-oh gave her a sideways glance. Kang Hee doesn't know if a young officer like her partner can share her worries. The girl feels that she hasn't done her job well enough. The man finds these words appalling. The atmosphere in the car is very uncomfortable. The next day, Kang Hee was at work at the police station. An officer approached her to issue an arrest warrant. As it turned out, he had approached her 3 days earlier with an official application. This kind of request means that someone's arse is already on fire. The girl got up and said she was going to get some coffee. Her phone rang. It was Choi Jin-hyuk, the prosecutor. He asked if he could congratulate her on her fiancé status. The girl didn't get the joke. Woo Kang Hee remembered that she had a wedding photo thanks to her grandmother. But she never got married. It was because of the heavy rain that was pouring down from the sky. It was like Yoo Jin's tears. Jin-hyuk said that Judge Kim asked him to take care of his fiancée. He wants to know what happened. Kang Hee assures him that it's none of his business. She continues to wait for her coffee at the vending machine. The guy proposes marriage to her, to which she reacts very strongly and negatively, saying that now it's clear how he really feels about her. All that was heard in response was laughter. Kang Hee asks her to stop joking or she will hang up. Her flavored coffee is ready. The man asks her not to hang up because he wonders who the guy is who made the judge call him. Kang Hee replies that the person is even crazier than he is. Yoo Jin called Kang Hee. He smiled and answered. The girl told him that they could have dinner tonight if he was free. The table was set very generously. Ha-jun wondered if the two of them would eat it together, but Kang Hee assured him that she could manage on her own. The man was surprised. The girl doesn't gain weight no matter what she eats because she exercises her body. Ha-jun smiled and said that he would like to work out for her as well. The girl looks at him through her eyebrows and says that she's tired of being the cop who needs his help. The guy promises that this problem will be solved once she marries him. The girl is confused that they suddenly switched to you. Ha-jun explained that it was because they were the same age. The girl suddenly didn't want to eat and jumped up from the table. She had lost her appetite. Ha-jun was happy to see her eating well. The girl opened the door and walked out of the restaurant. She didn't seem to be interested in getting married, but then it was unclear why she was called the prosecutor's bride. She turned her head in surprise. It seemed that Ha-jun had made inquiries about her. He explained that he overheard it by chance. Kang Hee said that he already knew everything. She's tired of his company. Thanks to him, Kang Hee feels like a slutty girl who cheats. Ha-jun notices that they haven't done anything yet and the girl already thinks it's cheating. It looks like she fell for it. Kang Hee and Ha-jun decide where to go for coffee. Since the girl paid for the food, the guy gets the coffee. The policewoman notices that Ha-jun no longer shows his ring. He doesn't want to explain anything due to the status of their relationship. The guy will tell if they become friends. Out of curiosity, Kang Hee agrees to be his friend. Ha-jun explains that he's also hiding him because of the girl's obsession. Every time they meet, it's only because of the ring. He sees it because he keeps looking at her face. The girl wonders why Ha-jun does this. The guy thinks about it and replies that it happens instinctively. Knowing that he keeps looking at her makes Kang Hee feel inconvenienced. The girl suggests suppressing this instinct. After all, intelligence drives instinct. This is what distinguishes humans from animals. It seems to her that Ha-jun has no instincts at all, but rather a perfectly honed artificial intelligence. In honor of the beginning of their friendship, he asks her to guess whether he's closer to an animal following its instincts or a human being guided by reason. Kang Hee suggests that to honor the beginning of their friendship, he should tell her whether he's more like a human or an animal. The man would be offended if he knew from the beginning that he is only valuable in this way. Ha-jun complimented the girl by calling her cute. She replied that he was so cute that she wanted to raise him like a big dog. The girl explained that his value to her was his face and his ring, which reminded her of someone else. If Ha-jun proves his worth, he might be promoted from her boyfriend to her boyfriend. They continue their walk through the city. The policewoman explains that she works in different places, so it's hard for her to find time to spend with her new friend. It seems to Ha-jun that the girl herself wants to spend her free time with him. She obviously didn't like this kind of speculation. She also asked him not to say anything strange to the judge again. The man asks for his time so that Kang Hee can find out what he can do for her. She agrees to listen. Ha-jun said that he was also good at taking care of his body. Then he took a step closer, leaned towards her lips and said with a grin that he could take care of her body now. The girl was embarrassed and blushed. Ha-jun is sure that she almost fell for his manipulation. Kang Hee kicked him in the shin. It's a painful self-defense move. She's not old enough to play with fire anymore. Parent is still shaking with pain. He's sure the girl likes him too. She should listen to her instincts. If she can't admit it, they're not lying. Kang Hee looks at him questioningly. Now he tries to seduce her again. Ha-jun asks her to call him when she has time to meet him. It would be better if she promoted him to her boyfriend next time. As he said goodbye, he raised his hand showing the same ring. Kang Hee called him an arsehole. A few days later, Yoon Jae-in, who was studying in Germany, had a meeting to celebrate her return to Korea. The protagonist is invited even though it's not a reunion. She feels quite uncomfortable. Rumor has it that Jae-in is getting married. The perpetrator of the party arrives in the hall. She greeted her friends. A classmate said that even though she was getting married, she was even more beautiful. The girl noticed Kang Hee sitting on the couch with her friends and decided to chat with her. They hadn't seen each other for a long time. Jae-in heard that her former classmate had been promoted to inspector. Kang Hee replies that it's not so great because the salary is low and she's always busy. Jae-in is proud that her classmate is a modest and capable detective. The girl who organized the party is the only granddaughter of a member of the National Assembly and an excellent violinist. She regrets leaving after saying many nasty things to the protagonist. She was not herself back then. Kang Hee pursed her lips as the reason for their quarrel was Yoo Jin's death. Jae-in was sure that the guy died because of her and that the girl should have died instead of him. Kang Hee said that it was all in the past and it wasn't worth thinking about. Jae-in offered to be friends again, but the protagonist reminded her that they had never been friends before. The girl invited Kang Hee to her wedding. The detective isn't sure if she has any free time. The classmates ask her to tell Jae-in about her fiancé. The girl explains that they are not engaged yet because the families are discussing the matter among themselves. They know each other well. Her future fiancé used to work for Daimler in Germany, but now he's back in Korea for business. His name is Yoo Ha-jun and he is a bit famous. Kang Hee can't believe her ears. Her classmates are shocked. After all, this guy is more popular than any celebrity right now. Rumor has it that he's just showing off. The girl confesses that Ha-jun doesn't want to marry her. He said it was time to get married and bury her talent in the ground. Since his family is very strict and conservative, he is looking for a malleable wife, not someone like her. There are girls like her in the world who can sacrifice themselves for their family. Jae-in laughed and used Kang Hee as an example. The main character remembered why they could be friends. Jae-in has promised Yoo Ha-jun's family that she will make it. They adore her. The girl feels that he's changed his mind about getting married. Kang Hee is confused. Maybe Ha-jun didn't call her after turning everything upside down because he thought things would work out with Yoon Jae-in. Her classmates asked Jae-in to call her future fiancé over to their house to see him live. The girl replies that she would like to do that as well, but the guy is very busy at the moment because it's been a while since he started his business. Kang Hee finishes her cocktail, puts the glass back on the chair and announces that Ha-jun isn't busy at all. Jae-in wonders how she knows this. The protagonist explains that she's met him a few times. The man Jae-in wants to marry has proposed to Kang Hee. The classmates don't believe it. When the girl hears the story of her classmate's marriage, she is curious to know who he is really serious about. Jae-in is shaking with excitement. She's shaking all over. Jae-in explains that Kang Hee misunderstood her. Ha-jun isn't looking for a wife, but a woman who will devote herself to her family. The main character suggests a bet. Everyone has to text him to come to the bar. Whoever Yoo Ha-jun comes for is the winner. Jae-in is a high school princess with an impressive background. Kang Hee is a tough high school girl who's just as good at fistfights as the boys. The students bet on Jae-in to win. In their opinion, the result is obvious. The girl is sure that Ha-jun won't come for Kang Hee, but they have yet to find out. The main character sent a message to Yoo Ha-jun asking him to come to Ryo's shop on Jeondam, adding that she would raise his level if they met today. After 1 hour and 30 minutes, no one showed up. It looks like both girls have been abandoned. It's unlikely that a man to whom a Hollywood actress has confessed her love would waste his time on them. Kang Hee didn't expect Ha-jun to have such a big ego. She's embarrassed because her friends have made big bets. Someone knocked at the door. It was Yoo Ha-jun. He apologized for being late. The two girls froze as they waited to see who he was. The classmates are excited. They want his autograph. Jae-in brightens up and waves at the boy. He reluctantly says hello to the girl and then looks at Kang Hee. The guy sits down on the couch opposite. He's very smartly dressed in a dark blue shirt, black trousers, and brown leather shoes. Ha-jun turned to Kang Hee and said that he missed her a lot. The girl flinches. Jae-in is shocked and can't get a word out. Today, the guy wants to upgrade and look for Kang Hee as a boyfriend. He snapped because of her message. Jae-in jumps up and screams at Ha-jun because she warned her that today is the reunion. She had to save face. The guy explained that he said hello to her first because of the message. Jae-in heard that he had proposed to Kang Hee. Ha-jun confirmed the rumor. He didn't want to get married before, but after meeting Kang Hee, he changed his mind. The classmates teased each other about the guy who chose Kang Hee. They wondered what would happen to Jae and who would marry him. The girl clenched her fists and apologized to Kang Hee for not believing her. The girl really likes Ha-jun. That's probably why she's not herself. Jae-in cried. She thinks she's bad because the guy didn't pick her. The girl falls on her knees in front of Kang Hee and begs her in tears to give up Ha-jun. She reminds Kang Hee of her dead boyfriend and how she said she couldn't be with anyone but Eugene. Now Jae-in is sure that she can't be with anyone but Ha-jun. He looked at her indifferently. Kang Hee announced that he couldn't upgrade today, otherwise she would look like a real bitch in the eyes of others. Jae-in smiled and thanked her. She said goodbye to her classmates and said she had to go. The girl walked out and slammed the door. Some of her classmates tried to stop her. Kang Hee decided to leave as well. Ha-jun stopped her halfway. He felt that the girl gave up too easily. She froze in front of him. He remembered that Kang Hee had a question and looked at the ring on her finger. The girl walked silently out the door. Jae-in stood there thinking that Kang Hee had decided to apologize. The girl didn't feel any guilt towards her. She says that Jae-in should finish what she has to tell her. Kang Hee asks her to do everything she can to get Ha-jun and not to let him go. This is her last favor to Jae-in as a friend. Kang Hee declares war on her because she also has an interest in Yoo Ha-jun. Jae-in slapped Kang Hee. The girl didn't expect a slap. Jae-in thinks that her classmate has developed an inferiority complex because of her. She feels that Kang Hee is always picking on her friends. The girl doesn't agree. It sounds ridiculous. Jae-in is shaking with rage. She is sure that if it weren't for Kang Hee, she would be first in line for Eugene and Ha-jun. She can't believe that her former classmates would steal her boyfriend away from her again. She will never forgive them. Kang Hee reacted the same way. Ha-jun approaches them. Jae-in had already called for a driver. She gets into the car but decides to say something to her rival. Ha-jun is a lot like Eugene. He will tie his life to her and then he will be in danger. She slammed the door and drove off. Kang Hee's cheek burned with pain, even though Jae-in's hand is small. Ha-jun put some ice on it. The girl noticed how quickly the one who had made her look like this came to her. If he had known that Jae-in was going to raise her hand, he would have intervened in their argument immediately, even if it was inappropriate. Kang Hee talked about her observation that her day goes to hell every time they see each other. So she's not happy that they see each other. She's not happy about it at all. Nevertheless, she can't let Ha-jun go. He doesn't understand her habit of blaming others for her problems. He admits his guilt for the incident at the Japanese restaurant, but today's situation is entirely her fault. If Kang Hee is responsible, she shouldn't have made a deal with him. Two classmates come out of the bar. They are happy that Kang Hee and Ha-jun haven't left yet. They asked the guy what car he came in today. Ha-jun took a taxi today. The girls can't wait to see the dream car, the Maybach Opera. When they get the chance, they want to drive the opera. If one of them posts a photo of the trip, she'll be the first in Korea to do so. They offer to have a drink together next time. Ha-jun will do anything, whether it's a trip to the opera or wine, but only if things work out with Kang Hee. The classmates think that the girl is a bitch and that's why she has to be with Ha-jun. They're sure that she won't meet such a cool guy all her life. Kang Hee thinks it's no cooler than winning the lottery. The girls insist that friends should help each other. After all, they'll get something out of Ha-jun if she becomes a bitch. Kang Hee tells them to do their best. She abruptly turns around and leaves them. The girls remember that she has had this temper since high school. Ha-jun thinks that Kang Hee has become a bitch because she can't improve their relationship today. The girl turns around in surprise and tells him to shut up or he'll get hit on the head again. She also tells him to respect boundaries when he talks to her in a formal or informal way. Not like this, it's you or you. Ha-jun only addresses Kang Hee as you when they're alone. They walk down the street. The guy decided to touch her hair discreetly, but the girl noticed and turned around. She suddenly switched to you, but then corrected herself and asked if he had just touched her hair. Ha-jun froze. In his defense, he said that the girl looked like a Pomeranian Spitz. These words caused some confusion for Kang Hee, as this dog has short legs and fluffy fur. It's not clear to her how she even resembles this animal. It seems that Ha-jun treats her like a pet. He laughed. Kang Hee saw his smile. She could drive you crazy. She told you Ha-jun not to smile in front of her. The girl seems to be getting attached to him. The guy thinks that forbidding him to smile is too much. He notices that her friends have a good grasp of the situation. He's better than the lottery, and it's time for Kang Hee to collect her winnings. She remembers what she said earlier, that her day goes downhill every time she meets him. It's called bad luck, but it's not like winning the lottery. Ha-jun wants her to believe in the lottery. He can't wait for the girl to take their relationship to the next level and marry him soon. Kang Hee doesn't take such statements seriously. You can't joke about getting married. But the guy assures her that he doesn't joke, especially not about something as important as a wedding. He's a man of principle. Ha-jun will take responsibility if he lets her fall in love with him. The girl doesn't understand why he mentions falling in love. She needs to know the reason to believe in his sincerity. The guy says the reason lies in the small mole under her eye. He touches her cheek with his hand and, looking straight into her eyes, says it makes his heart beat faster. He can't take his eyes off Kang Hee. As soon as she sees him, he feels as if the girl will scream. That's why he can't take his eyes off her. Kang Hee feels that the man is sincere with her. Her heart beats faster and faster. They look into each other's eyes and the girl wants to say something, but instead she turns her head away and asks him to take his hands off her. The girl says it's too soon for touching without permission. She mentally scolded herself for saying such a thing. It's as if Kang Hee has lost her mind. Jae-in tells her that if they get close to each other, Ha-jun will be in danger. The girl doesn't believe that this could mean anything good for him. Kang Hee is sure that they can't be together because of this. This relationship won't do them any good. So she's a bad choice as a friend. But as a person she's not. Since he's right about winning the lottery, there's no way him should miss this chance. Kang Hee decides to make a wish to the host of this lottery. The chief judge doesn't like her. She rarely listens to her superiors and does what she thinks is right. The first crime-fighting team can boast of many incidents. Many of them were politically related. But not once has justice been done for Kang Hee. Dozens of cases of unfair interference by the Chief Justice directly in the judicial process. It would be great if there was a big scandal that would lead to the removal of a judge from office. It is the Chief Justice who is the problem. Until the current judiciary is removed, nothing will change. It will only fulfill its promise if the situation changes. Ha-jun must show what he can do. Kang Hee is curious to see how this proud man will deal with such an impossible request. He's so attractive that even the prosecutor's fiancée has succumbed to his charms. If Ha-jun changes something in this system, it will raise his level. Or it will cool down his ardor a bit. The girl has no problem with even a ghostly sense of lust if she can sense Eugene in this man. Kang Hee sits in the patrol car in front of the police station and waits for her partner. Ha-jun doesn't call her because her wish was complicated. It's not funny at all. She's sad and stares inconsolably at the phone. Her colleague gets into the car in a good mood. He announces that he's heard the great news. He slams the door, hands her the newspaper, and tells her to read it carefully. On the front page is the breaking news about Air High Judge Kim Jae-jong's trial being rigged. Kang Hee is shocked. The partner remembers that she once told him that the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court could be trouble, so it's worth keeping an ear to the ground and following the news closely. The man admires her intuition. The girl explains that she said it as a joke. Hyun-oh reveals that the judge hacked the data of the court administration, not the government agency. He doesn't see the point of hacking into the court administration's data. If Judge Kim has such a cool frying pan, something else could have been hacked. Kang Hee has to go out to make a phone call. She slams the door and leaves the car. Meanwhile, Yoo Ha-jun is in Beijing for a meeting with the CEO of Tintin Co., Wang Ju-win. This company is the leader in the home shopping industry in China. Wang Ju-wing believes that Representative Yu has only offered to cooperate because he believes he is the Midas touch in the design world. This is a bit disappointing for him. Maybe it's because the man is judging from the outside and doesn't fully understand the whole thing. Yoo Ha-jun says that the iPhone company has made his name widely known. In that case, it's unclear why Daimler hired a man who also designs mobile phones. When Wang Ju-wing looks at the products that now dominate sales in the home shopping market, he can see that they have two flashy designs. The peculiarity of these products is their short lifespan. As a result, sales are unstable and customer demand is declining. This is why Tintin decided to create its own brand. Jung believes that it is more important to meet consumers' needs with a concise design, rather than a flashy design that is eye-catching but quickly tiresome. Woo Ju-win thinks that Yoo Ha-jun is too self-righteous. He replies that there is no reason to be arrogant, just as there is no reason not to be confident. The CEO of Tintin Company applauds Yoo Ha-jun after he says this. The man confirmed that people were telling the truth, that the guy was not only good at his job, but also full of charm. The presentation ended. Woo Ju-win told Yoo Ha-jun that the offer of cooperation had been signed in advance, but he was curious to hear what the man had to say. The man suggests that they have dinner together next week. His daughter is a fan of Ha-jun's and begs her father to arrange the meeting. Woo Ju-win would love to have such a son-in-law. Ha-jun thanks her for the invitation but declines because he already has a girlfriend whom he wants to marry. He reveals that he's already proposed to her and is waiting for her answer. Ju-win offers to reconsider his proposal in case Ha-jun's girlfriend turns him down. The guy promises that he won't give up and will keep trying until she says yes. It's not easy, but what can you do? The men shake hands and go their separate ways. Ha-jun has to make an urgent phone call, but Kang Hee beats him to it. She wants to know where he is and tells him that he's lost his mind. He pretends that he doesn't know what he's talking about. Kang Hee asks directly about the Chief Justice's case, whether it's his case or not. Ha-jun finally understands. He talks like it's nothing. There's only one question that matters to him. Will Kang Hee raise his level today? The girl admits that she has something to tell him. If nothing embarrasses him, he'll be her boyfriend in no time. Kang Hee will meet him today, but she immediately remembers that he is in Beijing. Ha-jun says that they can meet even though he's not in Korea. If she wants to see him, Ha-jun will come. After all, today is her first day. Ha-jun will come as soon as he can. He asks the girl to be patient, even if she misses him too much. She feels that the guy is completely out of his mind. Maybe he ate something wrong. She worries that Ha-jun might be a fan of chicken meat. It's an idiom, literally goosebumps, as a term for a passionate relationship where the partners put their feelings on display. The girl gets goosebumps at the thought. Ha-jun just laughs. He's coming today and asks her to break up with the prosecutor before he arrives because he doesn't want any trouble in the form of her ex-fiancé. The girl explains that Choi Jin-hyuk isn't her real fiancé. Ha-jun sent her address so that he could come to her house to talk to her. Kang Hee was confused. The girl doesn't want the guy to know that she's alive. She says that he doesn't have to go to her house, but can just call her when he comes back to the city. The guy explains that he'll be late. Kang Hee won't be going home tonight, so there's no need to come over. She'll stay at work until tomorrow morning. She doesn't want Ha-jun to feel guilty in front of her. After all, she's staying at the station so that her team can go home early. She thinks it's a plausible excuse. Kang Hee still has the energy and time to work. In fact, she can't sleep at home. She's really tired and doesn't want Ha-jun to know. If he only knew how much Shin Yoo Jin's existence has affected her, he would see her weakness at once. The guy asks her once again if she wants to marry him. It's not that the girl doesn't want to, it's just that she doesn't care. He promises to change her mind. Sooner or later Kang Hee will marry him. She doesn't even know how many impossible wishes she still has to make. At Ha-jun's family home, his family is having tea. No matter how you look at it, it's taking too long to choose a bride, and the wedding itself is still to come. The man's grandfather's name is Kup-soo. Look, the bride picking should be over soon. Ha-jun tells them that he's getting married. His grandmother, Myung-hee, is having tea with his grandfather. She doesn't have time to say anything, but her husband startles her with a sharp bang on the table. He was angry that his grandson, who had a good character, was quite intelligent and skillful, could not choose a wife. The man's hands trembled at the words. Kup-soo doesn't say this just because Ha-jun is her grandson, but because he is a very good person. And no matter which way you look at him, he can choose any woman he wants. He suddenly turned his head towards his wife, who was calmly drinking tea. The problem is that their grandson is too perfect. He asked his sister-in-law if he looked worried enough. The woman carries a kettle of hot tea for Kup-soo and Myung-hee. She asks them to believe in Ha-jun. It's okay, Hi, the boy's mother. She's sure that her son isn't lying and that Kup-soo knows better than her. Grandpa can really say that he is without hesitation. Okay, Hi gets a notification about a new message from her son. Kup-soo says that she should take care of him because she's his mother. She should also take care of herself because she is an important part of Ha-jun. The woman will try her best to do so. In the message, the man writes that he is on his way to meet his girlfriend and will be staying at her house. The grandfather wonders what kind of nice girl his grandson is trying to get. He doesn't know what to do for now. Kang Hee is at her desk, typing furiously on her computer. Her subordinates watch the girl from a distance. They don't know what happened to their boss today. The girl seems to have a lot to think about. Last time, one of the boys asked her what had happened because he was worried, and they ended up sitting at work all night. If they don't want to get caught, they have to pretend not to notice. Kang Hee thinks that she is the predatory animal that fearlessly attacks and bites. Then she wonders why she turns into a herbivorous rabbit every time she meets Ha-jun. The girl suddenly screams and jumps up, scaring her team. The boyfriend offers to tell her everything directly today and leave it at that. Songbi supports this decision because his 3-year-old son says welcome home every time he comes home from work. If you don't look at the child's face, you feel like you're being treated like a guest. Kang Hee's phone rang. She jumped in surprise. Her subordinates were surprised to receive a call at this hour. It could be her salvation. The girl asked him to let her know when he was back in town and not to come to the station. She asked him not to park near the station, but in the paid car parked near the restaurant. She'll be right there. Kang Hee put on her jacket and noticed that her subordinates were still at work, which surprised her a little. The girl looked in the mirror, brightened up a bit, adjusted her collar and walked away humming a tune. The boys were shocked. They had never seen their boss look into a mirror before. It looked like the sun would rise in the west tomorrow. Looks like the head of their department has someone. And it doesn't look like it's Prosecutor Choi. The boys decide that they have a duty to protect their boss, to the car park in front of the restaurant. Kang Hee says that the prosecutor's office and the police are in a panic. The girl wants to find the hacker who hacked into the Justice Department. Since Ha-jun is already here, he'll tell her everything himself. The girl is curious to know who paid the hacker. The man sees that she's already made up her mind that it was him. Kang Hee hopes that it wasn't you Ha-jun, because that would be crazy. If he gets caught, it will be the end of him and his family. The girl finds it unacceptable to pretend that he doesn't take it seriously. The guy thinks that Kang Hee's look and reaction right now makes her look like a wife who's worried about her husband. But of course she doesn't know that he's worried about her strange birthmark. Ha-jun asks if she is worried about him. Before you get caught, you have to play the role of a lover well. He touches her cheek with the palm of his hand. The girl drives him crazy. Ha-jun will do anything to get such a beautiful girl, even if his luck is short-lived. He is guided by instinct, not reason. Kang Hee cares about something. She wants to know the truth about the hacker. How much he paid him. That's extremely important right now. The more expensive the hacker, the better, because he has less chance of being caught. The girl promises to keep quiet even if she is caught. Ha-jun wonders how a detective so dedicated to her job can pretend not to know the culprit. If the girl is so sure that he did it, then it's worth turning him in. If he is arrested, Kang Hee can visit the guy and admire his face. A face that looks so much like Shin Yoo Jin's face. She can't just look at his face. It's the only thing the girl wants from him. A rustling and crunching of branches could be heard. Kang Hee suggested they hide around the corner. They hid between the houses. The guy warned her that if she hid him, she would become a contestant. The girl already has a headache from his chattering. She tells him to shut up. Ha-jun likes it all very much. He would never hire a hacker. He doesn't have time to waste his money like that. As it turns out, it's not him. It's just a coincidence. Ha-jun told the truth, but it's Kang Hee's decision. The guy asks her not to breathe so hard because he can literally feel her breasts with his upper body. The girl blushes and takes a step back. She confesses that she sees him as a different man. The ring he showed her looked so much like the ring of a man from her past. The only man Kang Hee could love for the first and last time. Ha-jun already knows this. But that doesn't hurt his pride. He will still be there for her. It doesn't bother him that the girl sees someone else in him. This seems to be the impossible wish Kang Hee was talking about. He takes her hand and promises that he'll do whatever she wants, even become the embodiment of someone else. Ha-jun kisses her hand and asks her to answer if she wants to be his girlfriend. He is curious how far she will let him go today. He felt the confidence with which he could erase this man from her life. Kang Hee decided that it was worth limiting herself to her hands today. She asked him to take a step back, as decent people are supposed to do. The girl seems to have hurt his pride. A man who was supposed to be the embodiment of someone else would hardly be hurt. Ha-jun had never experienced anything like this before, but when you don't get what you want, it hurts your pride. However, he had received a level increase, and that would save his ego. Ha-jun still has some pride left. The wedding is only a matter of time. They have to get married. Now they're dating. Kang Hee thinks it's ridiculous at what age you start counting the days you've been together. Today is their first day. If Ha-jun is sure, they'll give it a try. The girl called the guy her first love who died. She leaned her head on his chest and asked him to erase those memories from her mind. If he succeeded, they would get married. Ha-jun shuddered and said with a grin that he would be happy to do it if she wanted him to. The girl likes this confidence. There's a shine on her lips. The guy is still wondering if she really wants to try it. He touches her cheek with his hand, tangles his fingers lightly in her hair. Ha-jun remembers that today only hands can be used. If she doesn't like it, she'll tell him. He doesn't want to seem rude or pushy. If she doesn't like it, she can stop it. A slight shiver ran through the girl's body. This is not good. It looks like he's going to do it after all. He moved another 1 centimeter closer to her lips. Kang Hee's team continues to search for her. They've already gone around the corner, but they still can't see the girl. Someone tells Hyun-ho to stop searching. Kang Hee and Ha-jun suddenly hear the boys. Sunbae says that an animal could eat their boss. His friends doubted that a man as big as their boss couldn't be caught and eaten by an animal. The girl trembled in fear of being seen with Ha-jun. She mentally joked that she was about to be eaten, but they interrupted her. The boys all saw their boss looking in the mirror and putting lipstick on her lips. It was the first time this had happened in the 5 years they had worked together. Some of the employees didn't even notice the lipstick. The girl didn't want Ha-jun to know. She says that her colleagues are exaggerating and that it's just a lip balm to keep her lips moisturized. Hyun-ho is sure that the lipstick was so red, it's as if the girl had gotten dirty with something. Kang Hee is annoyed and explains to Ha-jun that the balm isn't red, but light pink. The girl pointed at her lips to make sure. At that moment, Ha-jun realized that he was really ready to eat her. Hyun-ho wonders why a perfect man like her boss has such low standards. As a man, he knows what other men think. He thinks that Kang Hee is with the guy who was staring at him outside the hotel. The guy decides to call his boss. Kang Hee didn't have time to go into silent mode and everyone hears her ringing. It sounded like she was somewhere nearby. Kang Hee suggests to her boyfriend that the next time they talk, they should split up. Ha-jun doesn't want to let her go, even though the girl has to leave. He sighs heavily in frustration. Team Kang Hee's lenses won't leave her alone. It will make them feel better if she at least gives them a treat. The man agrees and lets her go. But suddenly he grabbed her hand and hugged her. The girl's heart beat faster. Now that they are a couple, this physical contact is no longer considered frivolous. Ha-jun asked if an hour would be enough time for them to have dinner. The girl said yes, and then he promised that he would wait on the condition that she would call him when she was done. Kang Hee was oblivious. His closeness to her grew in direct proportion to her attempts to keep him at a distance. He holds her as tightly as she tries to keep him away. Now Ha-jun takes as much from her as she's willing to give. Kang Hee has started dating a man who plays by the same rules. She promised to call right after dinner. The girl comes out of the darkness to her colleagues. Kang Hee asks, somewhat indignantly, if they are following her. Hyuno wants to know where her boss was. The girl says they don't need to know. The guy knows that there's someone else around the corner, a baby animal who's seen them. The team went to a place that makes the best hangover soup. The girl didn't drink any alcohol during the meal, so her charges decide that the man she had a date with is hiding somewhere nearby. They ask her to call him out to meet him. Kang Hee thinks the idea is lame. The boys want to see the man who made their boss look good. Hyuno prepares an interrogation. He wants to know if Kang Hee has a boyfriend or if she is just hanging out. The girl refuses to answer, but the boys remind her of her own words that her team is a family. She decides to drop the subject because there was a gambling scandal 20 years ago. The boys are not happy that she is talking about work even at dinner. Kang Hee thinks it is very important because everything has to be done properly. The girl stayed late with the team. It's been an hour and a half and she still has to walk 15 minutes to where Ha-jun stayed. 7 minutes if you run. It's only 8 minutes faster. She doesn't know why she's running. Kang Hee doesn't think it's right to keep him waiting. She also doesn't want to apologize to the victims' families. The girl finally makes it to Ha-jun's house. She doesn't know whether she'll be late or not. He thinks it's okay because she's only supposed to come to his appointments like this. This night is special. Starless sky, dark, just an ordinary night. It's important for Ha-jun because it's their first night together. Kang Hee doesn't like this formulation. She hadn't expected to hear the phrase a night together. She immediately thought of Ha-jun's words that he had managed to take care of his body, so now he could take care of hers. Bad thoughts immediately came to her mind. Ha-jun asked what they were going to do today. Kang Hee seems to be trying to seduce her. The girl asks if he wants them to go to a hotel. This kind of question makes Ha-jun cough. He asks again if she wants to go there, to which the girl replies in the negative. She has no such plans for him today. It's a special day, her first day. Ha-jun has never been in a relationship before. He thinks they should do whatever the girl wants. She can't believe that she fell for this lecherous demon's trick, considering the whole atmosphere. The problem is his costume. Kang Hee thinks that she has to clean up her friend first, i.e. tie his tie. The girl trembles slightly. She doesn't know how to do it and will ask her boyfriend to tie it himself. Ha-jun wants her to do it. The girl doesn't know how because she's never let anyone else tie a tie before. Designers prefer originality. The same goes for relationships. They are always different, depending on the person. The guy suggests she remake him as her husband, starting with his tie. The girl doesn't know what kind of ties he wears. Ha-jun tells her everything, telling her to listen carefully and remember everything. He feels that he should do this more often in the future. It's also a message that they will spend countless nights together. You need to make one side of the tie longer and wrap it around the other end once. Then put it through the hole and tighten the knot. Kang Hee's heart beats faster and faster. Wearing the tie is not just a theory. It really leaves an unforgettable mark. It makes your heart beat faster than a kiss. But if they kissed, the girl's heart would break. Dating a man like that would not be easy. She wasn't sure if she could handle it. Kang Hee swallowed the lump in her throat. She suggested they go out for a drink to celebrate their first day. It could be soju, liquor, beer, wine. The girl wasn't fussy about alcohol, so she didn't care. In her opinion, alcohol is the best way to lighten the mood. Ha-jun suggests that they do something else since he doesn't drink and doesn't plan to start. The girl thought he was joking, but he was serious. The guy doesn't smoke either. Kang Hee has never met such a respectable man who is also too cocky. Besides drinking, there's nothing else to do. She doesn't know what to do with them. The girl suggests they go out for a meal. There's a place nearby where the food is great. Ha-jun hasn't eaten after 6 p.m. for 10 years. Kang Hee is discouraged and doesn't know what to do. The only option left is to go for a walk near the police station. That seems to suit him. It's useful and easy. There are many interesting places there. Ha-jun said he likes anything out of the ordinary. There are picturesque and quiet places. The guy is silent and doesn't answer for some reason. The girl asks him to tell her if he doesn't like her option. Ha-jun agrees, but only on the condition that they hold hands. Kang Hee doesn't mind. Their fingers slide through each other and join their palms. The girl is slightly embarrassed. A walk is a walk. They walk along an alley with many street lamps. Kang Hee notices a blood sausage soup restaurant on the other side of the street. She suggests that they go there next time. It's super delicious. Her team ate there once and a wanted man came in. She finds it hard to believe that he would eat in a restaurant so close to the police station. The houses on the other side of the river look quite picturesque at night. It's odd that in this area several crossroads meet in the same place. If a criminal runs away under one street, the policeman can catch him if they get to the other side of the street first. Their hands are getting tighter and tighter. Midnight. Yeonhee-dong District. Expensive cars drive into Ha-jun's family's yard. His mother greets the guests. The guests greeted OK High and the women invited them in. Every midnight on the last day of the month, dignitaries from the world of politics and business meet. Kap-soo is very happy to see them. Dinner has been prepared for the guests. The Yoo family has long presided over these meetings. The meetings have always been solemn and strictly confidential. The publicity surrounding Chief Justice Kim is definitely a challenge for them. They have to catch the hacker and find out who is behind it. The difficulty is that the police sometimes refuse to issue a warrant. This case has already gone viral and the cops will not refuse to issue a warrant after something like this. They are not that stupid. Some doubt that people are capable of understanding this. The president's chief of staff received an order from a VIP to catch the person behind it first. There was silence at the meeting. The VIP wants to get rid of his subordinate. It's not just one person. He'll probably cut off the whole branch. It's easy to say, but everyone knows what will happen if Judge Kim is arrested. A lot of people will be implicated. It's unclear how the presidential administration will deal with it. There are many former Supreme Court justices. The current administration can't deal with just one of them. They have to go all out and make a statement that the leaked documents are not accurate. They have the ability to prevent witnesses from appearing if necessary. They have every opportunity to stall for the time it takes to calm people down. Kap-soo asks the guests to take one portion each when they leave. It's abalone and humpback in a marinade. He winks and asks if his wife's culinary skills have improved. The president's chief of staff apologized to Kap-soo for always bothering him. The man refuses. On the contrary, he is grateful to him for always answering the frail old man's call. The guests did not agree with this formulation. The chief of staff said that Mr. VIP wanted to show his concern for the Yoo family's grandson. When he has time, he would like to have dinner with his granddaughter. Kap-soo asks him to tell Mr. VIP that he has enough concern in words. OK High goes to the guests and brings a gift from an old acquaintance in Gangwon-do. 3 ginseng roots. This is a real treasure. Kap-soo asks the man to accept the gift and not to be shy because he works very hard. The CEO looked very pale when he appeared on TV. Myung-hee is very happy that the time of the meeting has been changed and that there will be an aperitif instead of a meal. The daughter couldn't agree more. Father asked for silence. He feels that Mr. VIP is trying to blind Ha-jun with his granddaughters. The man is sure he did the right thing by politely refusing. Myung-hee agrees completely. Politicians should be avoided even more than businessmen. The grandmother wonders if her grandson can choose a bride in such a hurry. Kap-soo is sure that Ha-jun is a witty guy and also very friendly and kind. He will be able to choose a strong and skillful bride. Meanwhile, Ha-jun and Kang Hee help an old lady on the street. They push her cart. It's cold now and the woman suggests that they drink coconut milk and work afterwards. She's always grateful to the detective whenever they meet. The woman couldn't believe that policemen could be so nice and kind. She turns to Ha-jun and assures him that he is holding real gold. You can't miss this girl. The couple looks really good together. They should be careful. Ha-jun looks at Kang Hee. The girl got her hand dirty while helping the old lady. It was a little encouragement. The guy asked if it was necessary to open all the waste paper to get her hands so dirty. Kang Hee is stronger than any grandmother and has more dexterous hands. If the woman had been alone, she would have dragged the cart for 30 minutes, but the girl managed it in just 5 minutes. Ha-jun thinks, a historic first date. Kang Hee's hands look too dirty. The girl deliberately touched her dirty fingers to his forehead and said that if they were so dirty, why didn't he duck? She smiled and the guy replied that even if they were dirty hands, it didn't change the fact that they belonged to his girlfriend. The important thing is that he doesn't change his mind. Kang Hee doesn't care how dirty her hands are, she just wants to hold her lover with them. What's in Ha-Jun's hands warms this harsh world. He doesn't like dirty things at all, but he wants to hold his girlfriend's hand as long as possible. When you think about it, her boyfriend is a pretty good person, but she's no slouch either. Ha-Jun smiles at this. Kang Hee turns him around and pushes him against the wall. The guy doesn't even have time to realize what has happened. The perfect place and atmosphere for a kiss, as well as their current situation. Kang Hee reminds him that he said he was good at sports. The guy is good at running on the treadmill. Kang Hee gets a bit nervous. She noticed a strange man behind her who was about to rob someone. The girl has a premonition. She can feel it in the atmosphere around her. Kang Hee winks at her friend and asks him to help her. The truth is that it could be dangerous. Ha-Jun only looks at her, but the girl somehow doesn't do the same because he is her boyfriend. Kang Hee begs her to understand. Even though her working day is long over, she can't turn down a police assignment. Even if he isn't a cop, he can't pretend that everything is fine when someone is in danger. As I expected, an unknown man snatched a handbag from a passing girl. She screams for help. Ha-Jun asks for a promise that he will be rewarded. The girl hesitates, but suddenly screams for them to run. Maybe this relationship will work out. Kang Hee has been sent from above. Even if his heart couldn't take it anymore and his feelings for her stopped, he shouldn't lose his mind. The girl warned the robber that she was a police officer, but he didn't stop. This guy is definitely an athlete. She can't believe she could run 100 meters in 16 seconds. The girl turned around, but Ha-Jun wasn't there. Just because he's good on the treadmill doesn't mean he's good at actually running. His muscles are just for show. The thought crossed Kang Hee's mind that her boyfriend was using his smart brain. He used the intersections Kang Hee was talking about. It's a blessing from heaven to get a reward from your girlfriend. The question is whether Ha-Jun listened to her useless chatter. What are the chances that he can outrun the criminal? She doesn't know if there's any point in continuing the chase. Maybe she should give up and go look for Ha-Jun. Suddenly he called her name. The girl looked back and couldn't believe her eyes. Her friend managed to catch up with the criminal and they got into a fight. He knocked the mugger to the ground. Kang Hee thinks her friend is hurt. Maybe they should call an ambulance, but first the police. Ha-Jun asks for help to catch the criminal. Kang Hee pulls out her handcuffs and calls the police for later. Police sirens sound. The patrolmen pick up the robber. Ha-Jun falls to the ground. The girl sits down next to him and tells him that an ambulance is on its way. He should rest for now. It's an honor to lie on her lap because she won't let anyone else do it. Ha-Jun thinks she should be a shaman, not a detective. The guy feels that she told him about the crossroads because she saw it coming. At one point Ha-Jun is in a lot of pain. He says that his heart shouldn't stop. Kang Hee asks why this should happen. He says he ran too fast and shouldn't overexert himself. The girl says that he should have waited for her instead of running. They've only been dating for a day and Ha-Jun is already making a hero out of himself. The guy reminds her that the girl promised to reward him if he caught the culprit. It's all because of her. He wants to get some rest as he hasn't been able to sleep all day. The asphalt is very dirty, so maybe the guy feels uncomfortable lying on it because he doesn't like it dirty. Ha-Jun says that it feels warm and not dirty, just like his girlfriend said. He asks Kang Hee to tell them to go to Sejong Hospital when the ambulance arrives. It's a specialized hospital. The man has fallen asleep on her lap. He looks very graceful and vulnerable at the same time. The girl really wants Yoo Ha-Jin to be Shin Yoo Jin, but at the same time she doesn't. These feelings are very conflicting. A name is just a name. Her life is wrapped up in something unimaginable because of that man. She put her hand to his forehead to stroke it. The boy is in the special ward at Sejong Hospital. His grandfather and grandmother have come to see him. Kap-soo is very angry that this has happened to his grandson. Ha-Jun says that nothing serious has happened. He took the day off and will go to work tomorrow. He didn't want the family to know about it, but the hospital informed them without his knowledge. Ha-Jun was going to take a day off and lie in the hospital, and then he was going to visit Kang Hee. The grandson promised his grandfather that he would go on a date and ended up in the hospital. Kap-soo asks his wife to go out for a while, but she doesn't even have time to say hello to her grandson. The woman walked out, slamming the door in anger. The man leaned over to Ha-Jun and quietly asked if he lived with the girl. Ha-Jun replied in the negative, saying that she was just his girlfriend and that he had to keep within the bounds of decency. Kap-soo thinks that's nonsense because nowadays young people do it before they get married if they don't mind. They're going to get married anyway, so it's no problem to start living together beforehand. Grandpa wants to see his great-grandchildren as soon as possible. Ha-jun asks him to tell Kap-soo everything that's on his mind, because he looks like he's about to burst. Grandpa wonders what his grandson did. On the day that his heart was so overwhelmed, Ha-jun explains that he and his girlfriend met a pickpocket. The man thinks that he should have protected himself first, but Ha-jun is sure that no woman would want to marry a coward after something like that. You have to take care of yourself. He doesn't see this as an opportunity to take a break from work. Kap-soo insists that he shouldn't overexert himself. The doctor says not to worry, especially since overexertion happens sometimes. Grandpa is just worried about overwork. His grandson shouldn't do it anymore. Ha-young hadn't had this much fun in a long time. He ran like a madman, not caring that anything could happen to him. All he cared about was whether his plan would work or not. He didn't care if he overexerted himself. He will get Kang Hee's prize. Ha-jun has never seen his girlfriend smile before. He wants to go out with his girlfriend again. Kap-soo is eerily curious about what he wants. Ha-jun dreams of having a normal family like his grandfather wanted. Grandpa has the family he wanted. He wonders what normal family means to his grandson. Ha-jun says that his grandfather asked him to just find someone and get married. That's true, but the man thinks he should choose a kind, responsive girl with skilled hands. And not to forget strength. The man immediately remembered the old lady's words about having real gold in his hands. A nice and kind girl who is stronger than any grandmother and has more skillful hands. The words matched the girl's description. He asked his grandfather what good all this money would do. They could just hire people. Kap-soo didn't understand why his grandson had brought it up so suddenly. Ha-jun keeps his promise to his girlfriend. If Grandpa makes a promise, Ha-jun will do it as soon as possible. He means the wedding. Kap-soo leaves his grandson's room. He sees nothing wrong with Ha-jun getting married. He tells his wife and daughter that they are going home. Okay, Hai wants to give the food to her son first. Ha-jun doesn't eat when he's tired. Kap-soo understands how his mother and grandmother could forget. The boy has gone to sleep and doesn't need to be disturbed. Kang Hee came to check on her lover. She was surprised that the hospital room could have a big TV and a remote control for the blinds. It really is a special ward with an incredible view. Ha-jun can't believe that the interior of the hospital is more interesting than her sick boyfriend. Kang Hee finally asks about his heart condition. The man says that he just needs to take his medicine and rest. The girl jokes that he's a weak man if he has such a weak heart. Tomorrow, the man will be discharged. He felt that Kang Hee wanted to say something. The girl is curious about how he noticed it. Ha-jun explains that she bites her lips every time she wants to say something, but stops herself. She's afraid that the guy has had time to look at her. He can read her mind. It happens on the level of instinct. Ha-jun will only be satisfied if he can elaborate on something he's interested in. If that something is a living soul, he will know everything down to every cell. A man dreams of conquering a girl so that she belongs to him completely. He touches her cheek with the palm of his hand and runs his finger gently along her cheekbone. A small mole under her eye surprises him. Although she is neither the first nor the last to have such a feature, it is only her mole that he likes. The girl looks as if she's about to cry. Maybe she's faking it. If Kang Hee cries, Ho-jun's heart won't be able to bear this beauty. The girl removes his hand from her cheek and assures him that she never cries. You can't swear something like that, because there is no never. She insists that if she sheds even one tear, it will hurt her pride because she will look pathetic and weak. Only tears can help express emotions and cleanse the soul. Otherwise, the wounds of the soul will continue to fester. We have to help them drain all the pus so that they can heal. In Kang Hee's flashback, we see the dead man's room, where there's a note taped to the desk saying that he will definitely marry Kang Hee. There were also a lot of their personal photos and their photos together. The girl feels as if she will cry for the rest of her life. Ha-jun noticed that the girl was floating in the clouds again. She jumped at his words. It's the floating in the clouds that makes him want to conquer her. He dreams of being the cause of her tears. But Kang Hee replies that he will never see her cry. Ha-jun knows that people with birthmarks are very sensitive. The slightest reason is enough to make them cry. This has been proven by psychologist Peter Anderson. The girl sees herself as an exception in the scientist's research. She won't cry. The guy will believe her, but it sounded unconvincing. Kang Hee is furious that they don't believe her. If she goes on like this, she won't get anywhere. The girl grabbed a pillow and shouted that she didn't care if he was a patient or not if he continued to bully her. The man was startled by her sudden movements. Fortunately, the phone rang. Hyuno reported that the suspect had appeared. Kang Hee promised that she would be there soon. This call saved Ha-jun's life. Kang Hee sits in the police car. Her phone rings again. It was Ha-jun. She connected the Bluetooth and put it on speaker. He remembered that Kang Hee wanted to talk about something. The girl remembered that she had forgotten to find out about the Brave Citizen Award. Now Kang Hee would have to send another policeman. The man wished her good luck because he just wanted to see her and would tell her colleagues that they were dating. If that happens, Kang Hee won't want to see his face for months. She suggests a secret relationship because she hates to reveal things. It's unclear how long their relationship will last. Ha-jun sets a condition. If the girl says she misses him, he can send another policeman to the hospital today. Kang Hee is now on her way to Gyeonggi-do. If it's all for nothing, it's likely that the girl won't be able to return to Seoul today. In that case, the man promises to come to her. He doesn't care where, as long as his girlfriend wants to meet him. He even came from China. Wherever she is, this man will always come to see her. Kang Hee from the car window is a family. The father is a ruthless jerk who has already ruined 2 families over money he once borrowed. Now he's smiling quietly at his wife and child. There's a back door in the building that has to be locked in case of an emergency. Hyuno goes with Kang Hee and another newcomer. He's a bit worried. Their job is full of scary things. The crime-fighting department is every man's dream. It's where you meet the worst people in the world. He wants to catch murderers. His colleagues tell him that he could lose himself in this dream. Kang Hee asks them to stop scaring the new guy. He might faint. The guy giggles. Hyuno reminds him that his boss told him the same thing when he was an intern. The girl did it because the guy was very scared and vulnerable. But their current intern seems very caring. She explains that they shouldn't provoke the criminal, that he won't be able to do anything dangerous as long as he's with his family. Sunbae will be with him. The newcomer just has to follow the instructions. Kang Hee has received a new message. Ha-jun asks if they can meet today. The girl isn't sure. He asks her not to think about him, but to catch a criminal. This is quite unexpected. She thought the guy would tell her to run to him at dawn after work. Ha-jun tells her to take her time and be careful. The girl has to call him when it's convenient for her. The guy will be waiting for her. Kang Hee sends him her address and code as she's far from the hospital. He can wait at her house. Kang Hee can't believe that she gave her address and house code to a man she's been seeing for 2 days. It's a nightmare. She immediately asked him to forget her message, which was even worse.
That's all for today. So guys, if you liked this video and want part 2, leave a comment below with the word ICOC. Also subscribe to the channel, click on the bell and like YF video, but most importantly, leave a comment. You can also write your manga options in the comments so that I make a video about them before the next video.